artist SEAK Claus Winkler. This video is an art performance as well as a piece of art. I'm not sure if this is standing right. Okay. You are sitting on my knee. Anyways. Yeah, this video is about, what is this video about? How long I'm painting my paintings, maybe? What people don't expect behind the paintings during the process. In Germany would say, was hinter den Bildern steckt. These are all letters you see in the background. This yellow thing here is a K, which is obvious. The other stuff is usually S, E, A, and also K. I also painted a few runes here, like those Germanic North symbols. Yes. So maybe my affection for letters comes from old letterings like this. Shout out to Mr. Cartoon here, the other side too. Because of those old German letters, and when I was a child, I was obsessed with knights, and then with musketeers. I mean, that time with the age of pirates, the war of rights in America, the Civil War, everything German, national, white history. So, yeah, I mean, I could go that route now, and then now I know that my great-grandfather had also beautiful handwriting. But I'm taking a different route here. I explained that also in lots of other videos. I have a strong handwriting, which doesn't mean my handwriting looks really good. My handwriting was stifled a little bit when I thought I should make an apprenticeship as an energy electrician, and they had like a norm lettering there. And that's when they basically kind of like tried to erase the handwriting out of me. But in the last 10 years, my handwriting came back. And for maybe compensating that I don't have a great handwriting, when I started, since the late 80s, 89, 90, I'm more or less into graffiti also. So I guess I was compensating when painting or developing my SEAK style. I was compensating for having a bad handwriting in a way. You know, in terms of like optimizing my handwriting, I optimized my letter forms, those abstracts, 3D object-like letters saying the word SEAK, like counterintuitive. Instead of then working on the handwriting, I worked on those forms, and stylized them and focused even all this like when you draw. You can't see this now here, but when I have like a stacks of books of sketchbooks, so-called black books or travel books. And there's like lots of sketches, obviously. And then I would say from mid-late 1990s, I stopped using erasers, or I probably never really used erasers, and just were like drawing them as they are without the helping lines and everything. Letting the helping lines from the letters standing and anything as construction lines as part of the painting, which sometimes get covered if you then fill them up with spray paint or something. But depends on how I'm working. Anyway, so the point is that like my affection for those forms and structures or viewing pattern, I transform for classical handwriting or fonts or Old English or Fraktur or letters like these are. I kind of like compensated or coped that for my ability to not draw and sketch like that. I compensated in like investing energy into my styles and those like 3D form structures while sketching. And that goes a little bit like, sorry. And that goes a little, that's similar to where my inspiration comes from. You know, I'm inspired by all kinds of things. Let's say those box designs from Japanese scale model companies, where they were like illustrating like the different specials, the different soldiers and units from World War II. You can buy them at scale models for like models and for, you know, those brands where you can buy like King Tiger and Tamiya, all these, you know, those sort of scale model diorama companies, or like where people then build their dioramas from. They had like also like, from those illustrations I was inspired, obviously also from like history books, illustrations, also from toy cars, toy models, from everything. And the thing is, it maybe me sketching or drawing then, and maybe getting a glimpse from that inspiration here and there, maybe like a little, how do you call that, when you have like two metal plates like welded together, or with screws put together, and there's like a little, how do you call that, Luftschlitz, you know, where those plates are together, and then you have like a little light effect there and a little drop shadow on the other side of the anchor of the other plate. Those kind of things, they're like just little nuances I probably then integrated in my painting, because I wasn't, for my technical abilities, and probably still are, not able to copy or get inspired more from those forms. Similar to when, like, say you have someone with a beautiful handwriting like this, and then it overwhelms my ability, so I take here and there a little thing I really love and put that into my style. And this is reflected in the word SEAK Claus Winkler, which also has like a superficial connotation, you know. For example, when I contact people, or people were in contact with me, it doesn't mean that they have to communicate with me. I then later know, or when I stumble upon them, or check the internet, or they appear in my eyesight at some point, I then see the influence I had on them. And it's also like, depending on how intense it was. And that same influence then, and the way how intense the influence is connected to my name. You know, because SEAK Claus Winkler, it suggests like you just like a little hint, a little signal, a little wink, and then you take that up and that's it. I mean, depends on how deep you want to go. Yeah, so I became famous because of my unique style, you know. In a scene where you don't get anything for free, you know. You have to work hard for it, and then you have lots of jealousy and haters. I mean, maybe sometimes they're not haters, they're just coming from a different perspective, and they, yeah, I would say, yeah, I have a different opinion, you know. It's not everything is hate. I mean, sometimes it is, of course. So like, for example, with this video, I thought I would talk about something totally different. Then the whole video took a totally different turn than I thought. I have like notes here and stuff like that. So, and during the video, I saw this video goes exactly in the different direction. As well as I thought I would talk about something different. Well, that is like that, and it's part of the art, and it's part of my style, and reflects also my painting. So, it goes organic in a direction, and it is the same with my style, and this is why I became known in the scene, in the avant-garde, because I allowed all the my weaknesses and my flaws, or my naive attempts, or integrated in all kinds of like positive or negative things, integrated into my style. And made that part of me, while allowing new perspectives or new techniques, and I clustered or formed that together, and that created my style. And then people were always like, "Oh, it's so different," and that goes on since the late 1990s, and now we have 2026, which and in the beginning of 2000, I reckoned the people who are copying me, or the generation or generations copying me from other artists, they they are much more talented. So they're hunting me in ways, but because maybe, but they were like talent. I mean, you have like people where you see, oh, he has talent, and then you have people who painting great stuff, but you know they don't have talent. They just put in the work, and I came up without talent. I still would say I don't have talent. It's amateur to say, oh, you have a great talent, blah, blah, blah. It's also like people are too lazy to think, you see when someone has talent, those are the people who have like a really nice stroke and a really nice illustrative way. You see like they can easily like make like illustrations or something, or comics. They probably then have the problem or the challenge that they easily can appeal too much because they can too good steer what they're doing, and then they end up into being kitsch. That's their challenge. Plus, they can maybe paint all kinds of styles, so that they have problems too. I mean, it's like with beauty. Beauty is a curse, and yeah, beautiful women who don't belong to the world and cook and clean and don't like attention. Yeah, right. Or like beautiful military uniforms. Ooh. That is like that. I have to be. Let's go fully retarded here. Okay. Anyway, so okay. Well. Why I'm different than most artists. Adults told me when I was like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, 7, 8, 9, in terms of people are waking up, protecting white countries, protecting Germany, and white countries in terms of ethno-state, in terms of nation comes from blood, times must first get worse till they wake up, till they vote different, till they make pressure on politicians, la-di-da. Well, I waited. So I'm a sleeper in a way, and now it's, since a few years, I'm openly awake now, or, yeah, so that's different. It's a long memory. I'm from East Prussian descent, and they have like a long memory, and they're like elephants. Yeah. And they're stubborn. Yeah, I should, where I'm a different than other artists. Tall white guy, famous in graffiti, stopped chasing graffiti magazines or interviews or media for the last 15 years, 16 years. And out of stubbornness, painted lots of small formats from two sides because he didn't like that label, that graph label. Works with mixed media, integrating all childhood influences. No guilt cult. Thinks for himself. Pro-male. World niche famous, la-di-da. Banned from lots of social media sites. I don't know, I'm just trying to come up with things which make me different. It's blatant, but who cares? I'm painting in a house where I draw my first paintings when I was a child and learned to read, and in this room I was reading the first time about the Bolsheviks and Holodomor and the Boer camps. And recognizing patterns, and learned about Otto Dix or Hieronymus Bosch. And here behind me was a cabin, you call it a Schrank, with like books and the bookshelf, William Bush and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm supporting the new right as well as the old right, how you want to call them, everyone pro-right. Help to swing the pendulum, 5D chess. Both grandfathers were party members. I don't know. Like, I don't know where I'm different. I mean, I probably in a lot of cases different. Did 13 months not in the rebel army. There's an audiobook I can recommend. 13 months in the rebel army. I did 13 months in the German army. Good swimmer. I had a Prince Albert piercing. I don't know. Maybe the whole like I'm different thing, being a different artist than other artists, will come up later. Painted all around the world, 27, 28 countries. I don't know, depending how you count. Locked my ego away in the last 26 years and painted mostly here in the studio, in the house, in all kinds of rooms. Painted on below poverty level, below the legal poverty level in Germany for a few years. But starving, starving artist, yes, in reality, but then you eat just carbs, because it's cheaper. So yeah, I'm working on that. Also have 2 years of experience with illicit substances. My true opinion, what I think or believe, go by. I can't say in the German in the Western world. I mean, probably I can say it in America. That's the only country. I'm an openly fan of Handsome Truth, John Minadeo, unapologetic. At this point, I'm talking about an addiction, and yes, I'm cold turkey. I'm now for like a full week not watching his streams, and I always sleep in at the moment because I want to watch his green screen. When he has like the filters with the OMI-TV things, and he's just. But I think I checked his website, and it's like I think the last streams he did, it was like more like strategy and clip shows because it's like too much important things happening. But anyway, so yeah. Okay, maybe something. Yeah, I'm painting. What makes me different is I'm painting sometimes 20 years or longer on the same painting. This painting here, for example, in the background, I built that canvas in 2010 around. And since then, I'm painting it from two sides. And this is like the good side. I mean, no, the other side is also good. I don't know which side is better and it's more optimal and more complex. And this side and they're totally different. The back side looks like from another artist. Completely abstract, lots of oil. It's all kinds of things mixed. So yeah. No, like each ethnicity should stay in their own lane, own pace, own lane, own race, own pace, own lane. Yeah? Just to, in terms of mix and stuff like that. Yeah, why am I sometimes paint? Sorry. Not very. So that's proof I'm not AI or something. I'm real or authentic. Okay, why I'm painting for 20 years, more than 20 years on some of my paintings, or a lot of my paintings. If no one comes to buy them, and I still my taste and my quality or my hunger or my appetite for growth and for getting better, which is natural, is there. I'm constantly growing and getting better, and seeing how great the work from other artists is, and how maybe less I'm using the credit for my ego. Humbled by my old paintings, I'm still painting on them and make them grow. Lack of the money or the ability to buy new surfaces, large canvases and stuff. I had no money for another roll of canvas, just something super simple. Then knowing that other people who paint with brush or mixed media or airbrush, however you want to call it, are on a much higher level than me, when I look outside of any like subcultural painting, it's much better here. Then then the wanting to create like really perfect, good, high quality masterpieces, underestimating time, you know. Like, I talk about years like others talk about hours or weeks. You lose the sense for it. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. You're never satisfied, you know. The more you then paint and work on it, the less you are satisfied. Then the more detailed you go, the less there are like little failures. The less ladder or 3D object ladder where you try to emulate man-made, mass-produced perfection in terms of like a spaceship or a weapon or some aerodynamic object thing. The more you make yourself aware that it isn't perfect, and it's full of failures, and it looks like an 8-year-old with lots of time, you know, and dedication, and persistence. So that creates like being humbled, being motivated, and trying to overcome and cope and blending and trying to forget that how imperfect everything is. While wanting to get more optimal, you know. I mean, I just have to look at some illustrations or paperback covers from Chris Voss from the 1970s or 80s, or other sci-fi artists, and I know where my place is. Yeah, and then also, I mean, all those objects or paintings or styles, you call it, are like literally like miniatures from what I painted in large. Take any form here, this is all saying SEAK. It's all, for example, this here is an S. I have to, there. I can't, it's from, so this is like, in reality, in my ideal reality, this is like 2.5 meters by 3 meters with spray cans, painted in like an hour or something. It's much more fun, much more satisfying. And now I'm like punishing myself painting this and that small, you know. It's like I have lack of space here. This is like a normal house for like 2 small families. So there's like lots of small rooms. Then painting with spray cans inside the house, always like with the smell and everything. Of course, I could, if I would have had money the last 26 years enough, I could say, okay, let's buy a small flat with a huge hall where I can paint then, where I have like, we can park like trucks inside and stuff, like this size. Yes, lack of money. Also, I must also live around my paintings, security. I started to learn to live with the paintings. Like I'm painting where I'm living. I made everything out of nothing or very few money. Everything was always against the odds. And even when I had money, I bought materials, knowing there will be times coming where there is no more money. So at least when I'm here stuck in my house, I can then work with the materials which I find laying here around, you know, and whatever that is. Years later, which I did. I underestimated how much longer it takes to paint details and painting details. I completely not thought about that. Even the paintings here in the room, if I take the same time effort into it, like for example a Vermeer did, or Hieronymus Bosch, but Hieronymus Bosch I would say he had like a large workplace with lots of assistants. My life is over, you know, because I'm then busy with that here. Considering also that all these paintings are from 2 sides. So yeah, I'm effed. But I can also paint my work in a few hours and be finished, and it looks great, especially on walls or anything, you know. It goes It doesn't need, I don't not need to have, I absolutely do not need to paint 20 years for a painting. I mean, a painting in a few hours can have the same quality and impact, you know. Also with other medias and spray cans. Don't get me wrong, you know. It just, yeah, I mean, it's like, this must be like really, really good. And maybe also trying to impress people on the internet, to have like a few torpedoes, for lack of a better word, or missiles, or lindworms, which then attract my belief system than other people who then want to have buy my work or promote me, or like promote in terms of like feature me in their magazines or books, or some super rich people, la-di-da, you know. Not knowing, or always trying to not think about, or ignoring the fact that fame or reputation, or if other people then tell you this is the guy you should blah blah blah, and then the masses follow, that those are the factors, you know, that marketing is a factor and not necessarily the quality. And that came also from curators I've met from the large art world, from the established, or they want to promote themselves into that world. They say, yeah, it must have the a maturity grade, or a minimal grade on quality, that you can hang it in a gallery. I'm just saying it's now with my own words. Without that, the gallerist looks like complete selected, you know. Slur word here. And this is how, and then when they have like a strong gallerist network, then they promote any crap up, and it's important, la-di-da, you know. In fact, then it's probably even a telltale sign for, oh, it's clever to invest in that artist on a subliminal level, because the art looks so whack, and there must be a strong, powerful gallerist network behind. Otherwise, it wouldn't be like promoted so exclusively, or so confident. Yeah, that's how. This is like normal thoughts I already had like 20 years ago. Yeah, so I don't know. So why I'm painting for 20 years on the same painting? Yeah, and the paintings are standing here around. I'm living with the paintings, and I must learn, I must grow. I mean, I want to upgrade my. The thing is also, if every paintings, because of the rooms here in the house, everything is a little bit smaller, or much smaller than in, say, large estates, or compounds, or do you call that, villas or something. So if I want to paint my style, which I'm usually painting on walls in a much larger size and the same quality, everything has to be a little bit more detailed, and a little bit more smaller, but then also more complex. And that changes everything. This is like, it doesn't look like a lot of more effort, but it's totally different. It's like, I don't know, if you're a cook and you make like a meal or a dish for 3 people or for 3,000 people, and there's a different infrastructure. At a certain level, things are different, you know. You have to plan things. And that goes with details. It takes much more time. It's much more complex. It's much less fun. Also, my body has different movements, you know. I can easily do like large movements, which on a wall look detailed and everything. Everybody's impressed. But to achieve that level on a small painting with the same body, I'm still painting me. I have to make like everything. It's very different. And I did like those small details or complex things. I wanted to create like, as an artist, you have to create an oeuvre where other people doesn't want to follow you, or can't follow you. And best case, both. So, yeah, then, I mean, yeah. When I had an Amiga 500, that game computer, that was the new thing, the upgrade, like not one step upgrade, like a totally different, a game changer compared to the C64 computer in terms of graphic aesthetics. And that approach, that desire or wanting or habitus to have like a better graphical or visual aesthetic was important for me. And yeah, I mean, same with the children, you know. you love Playmobil or anything or Lego, but then comes, I mean, these days they have like this Lego where they have like all kinds of World War II units in perfect camo. But say I'm talking about 1970s, 1980s Lego and Playmobil. And then at some point you want to have a more higher complex thing. And even like kindergarten children know which are the best tanks, or we knew which were the best German tanks and which looked the best, la-di-da-di-da, and what was both over the same. So yeah, I mean, so why I'm painting for 20 years on the same painting, you know, quality has to grow. It also is a natural growth, you know. You grow the painting grows in a natural way, and you have the painting grow in a way. Those paintings you see in galleries or museums usually don't grow because they look like they have like a mass-produced soulless attempt, you know, generic, if you will. I'm trying to interrupt that pattern in myself also, to give it more life, more thing. It's like in a way anti-globalist, you know. They want the world that everybody looks the same. Obviously, people like me then are not there anymore. And then everything should look like a European inner city shopping area where you have those like shopping shops, discounters, where everything is like cookie cutter, mass produced, soulless thing, you know, and that can easily happen. Maybe especially when you work with spray cans, or I don't know, because then everything is so normed. Yeah, and I'm trying to interrupt that pattern. Yeah, and I'm trying to come up with my own ways of giving my painting soul and individuality, and trying to interrupt my own systematic work, you know. Because the challenge with me is also I'm having most of my paintings at the moment, maybe in the future it's different, I don't know. They're all based on SEAK, on my styles. So it's a bit of a challenge to always come up with something new when you always stay in that, have these parameters. So yeah, it's one way. There's probably also other reasons why I'm in some cases paint for 20 years on the same painting. Yeah, also because I have this work rotation I came up with like in 2013, where I do like one work step on all paintings. That humbles my ego, then I have to think less, then I can paint faster and more. Even when I'm not inspired, I'm not in the mood, I can listen to an audiobook, I can produce more. This was an effect which I learned when I saw that T-34, T-34, that Soviet tank as a statue on the way to the village for my family in East Prussia in 90 or 91, I think it was 91. Yeah, they with that mass-produced stuff, so, and I'm trying to interrupt that, but also paint a lot, but in that rotation, and then I interrupt that work rotation, like one work step on all paintings, and then make like small rotations in my rotations, that some paintings are crystallizing on a higher complexity level, and then I interrupt that pattern again, because otherwise I would have too much of a system or too much of the same pattern in each painting. So in Germany we say you have to, at some point the cat bites its own tail, you know, or the snake eats its own tail. So I have to interrupt my own pattern, you know. So, but this is like why I'm sometimes painting for 20 years on a painting, you know, because, yeah. And also you start painting on the back sides because it's all more space. I can try something new, I can play a little bit. This is not a not expected benefit bonus, then you reckon this is like looks super awesome, it gets much more better. Yeah, but yeah, so I'm thinking. Okay, why do I sell so less paintings, and prefer to wait? I mean, there was a different time where I probably also had cheaper prices, and I thought it's much better. Also, I'm connected here with my area, to give everybody theoretically a chance buying my work, and there were like a few people who took up that possibility. Uh, Probably even then it was even too low, but anyway, so nobody now can tell me like, he's arrogant, blah 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 blah. It's like a form of grounding. It's like, well, hey, you know, you, I gave everybody the chance. Don't judge me. In terms of now, that's different. Yeah, high prices, lots of time. It's also being a bit of me passive aggressive, to say I paint like really complex paintings, so nobody trying to talk stupid to me like blah blah, it's cheap. Can you have like a less complex painting for cheaper? La di da di da. This kind of like BS. Then they can have something painted on the wall. Especially when they have like provide pro European activism. Then of course. But also for people who are not doing that, they can have something painted on the wall. But those canvases or paper paintings, they're for people who are willing to invest and value the work. Yeah, yeah, but it's also because, I mean, how much money do I need during the day, or doing I need money for food, for internet, for, yeah, and then I would 10 years ago or 20 years ago would thought like to have like the newest audiobook, but these days maybe like a personal trainer or something, like a home gym to get rid of this here. Yeah, and then for like 20 years ago I would have said you need probably enough money to buy Audible listening audiobooks, because that's what can I do when I'm painting? I can listen to something or drink tea. Anything else has too much calories. And drugs make you addicted, and then you can't focus on your work. Yeah, and everything, yeah. So it's it's audiobooks or tea, low carb, yeah, music maybe, but it's at some point, I mean, sometimes there were times where I was listening to one song or a certain hit list of songs, I don't know, for like a full day, one song, no problem, depends on the song. Or like, but it's more like YouTube videos, or like anything I can listen to entertain my brain, while painting. But I would say it's also sometimes it's good to listen to nothing. I'm just painting. And this is something people always think, oh, he's so alone and he's always silent, crazy, la-di-da-di-da. Yeah, but the last 35 years, 40 years, I was probably constantly listening to something, also when I was a child, So, I don't know, probably painting without listening to something. I don't know if I've ever did that. I don't know. Good question. I must think about that, and then think about if I can or should give an honest answer, and if I could handle that. I mean, that would be interesting. But like the most extreme thing for me, painting, not painting naked or something, or painting without listening to something, like an audiobook or music or a movie in the background or something, or radio or anything. Yeah, or someone talking with me on the phone, or that would be like the most extreme thing, the most craziest thing for me. It's just like little things. Anyway, so yeah, how do my paintings develop, or create my paintings and grow, and I'm not painting the background. There are some paintings here where I did the foreground, I make the background or in certain colors and stuff, and then I said, okay, now, and then I, for some reason, started painting on the background, and then on the back side of the painting, and now the back side is like fully complex, and on the main side there is like just background color, and that's it. And then it's like, okay, good question. What I'll paint there? I don't know. Maybe I will teach myself or learn how making portraits with oil, and then in 10 or 20 years, we'll have like little oil portraits in my paintings for myself, painted by myself, not by some other artist. That's important. I mean, after I ruined my life painting everything by myself, what I should ruin my life now, my artistic career now in hiring assistants to continue painting my paintings. It's completely stupid. Now I'm on that super exclusive rarity level thing. Well, then I can keep on keeping on. But I will paint large paintings in the future. New paintings, I will just start in large formats, means like, say, 2 or 3 times this format here at least. That's reality. And then probably not on canvas, not on a canvas frame, but just on the canvas so I can roll it in for space reasons. Yeah. Or I'm painting on walls, and there the size doesn't matter to me, because walls is always an option for people who don't have the money, where I can, because there it doesn't also need to be that detailed, to make a great painting, it can be fast, and then I can be flexible with the prices, especially there is nothing people can resell. Yeah. What kind of feeling is it to have finished a painting? I don't. Yeah, I can't describe the paint. It's like you wake up in the night and have to take the look on the photo, or you have to go down and watch the painting. Or if I'm honest, I'm so degenerated or conditioned or indoctrinated that these days I must then look at it on a photo, which is bizarre, because that is like this, because I want to have it forever, and then I know it's on photo, it must be on photo, and then the photo must be like from a photographer, professional photographer artist, really good. And then different lighting is also important, very important. For me, I'm kind of relaxed a little bit more and like, okay, great, and then I have the photos and. Yeah, but there are also paintings which are so good and so intense that they also look great for me when they're finished, also already before I have the photos. I did those work rotation thing to delay that feeling of the paintings are now finished, also to humble my ego. To get harder as a man, to grow as a man. Good times create weak men create hard times, hard times create good men. Also to have my paintings all on the latest and best quality I have as an artist, because I knew already 10 or 20, 30 years ago, I'm working predominantly outside the commercial art market and the gallery system, where you have like people talking positively for you because they get money for it or an infrastructure. And then you get hyped, and then you have like the paintings themselves doesn't have to be strong or good, because everybody else tells the people and the masses he's the important blah blah blah. So I knew my paintings have to be like real good, in case there's no one speaking for me, and there's no gallery system, and he did like 20 museum shows last year, that's why he's so important, blah blah blah. Oh yes, then he's important, On the other hand, I have a reputation, which makes it for people difficult if they know who I am or stuff like that. Which makes the life also, you are like on your own in a way, because people feel a distance, or they can't compare, or the only thing when you connect with them is in some cases how to get a painting from him, practical befriending and stuff like that. And then when they have, for some reason, then have a painting. I mean, I had this 1 or 2 cases, then they were gone, you know. In some cases for good. So, but this is like, yeah, the original thing was, I did not have written this down, but the original part of the video was what is behind the paintings, you know, the process and everything. Yeah, these are letters saying the word SEAK, S-E-A-K. It shows my affection for weapons, technical things, masculine, male aesthetics, military aesthetics, how the natural world is. I'm not talking about the liberal world, the liberal anti-white communist Bolshevik world we're living in, you know. Not talking about the anti-white Moloch mill Germany became after 1945. I'm not talking about that. Yeah, it's what is behind the paintings and the process. Doing your own thing. I'm painting myself toys or things I like or interpretate them like how I would have how when I was a child or youth and I had saw really cool play toys or models or things which are really cool and interest me, like in a museum, or when you played with the play toys from another child or another teen when you were there as a visitor. Yeah, or the paintings are also in a way are a collection of things, and I'm trying in my paintings to show a variation, and they have different aesthetics, and that's like the challenge, because when you have like one style, everything kind of looks the same. So how can I paint my style in so many different aesthetics and sub-styles or variants that it is interesting because it's so different, while doing this freestyle without script or teleprompt or anything. Yeah, and then painting a lot and not drifting into everything looks the same, because this year everything looks the same in a way, you know, except maybe this few Ks here. So I failed myself in a way. But then if I make another layer, I would have to paint some parts here, which I also maybe don't want to do. So yeah. What is why is quality for me more important than quantity? Yeah, because the money you get for a painting, it's in a very fast way spent, and on what can I spend it? On comics books, I can read how often? I will read how often? Until I'm overwhelmed mentally and then can't read it anymore, and I'm like, on Hollywood slop iTunes videos, which are anti-white propaganda, on cars or motor bicycles and collect them, which I would need infrastructure for. And then what am I doing there? I should paint my paintings. That should be the main thing. Watches, where I make myself a target, and I rather have something like this here, which is also nice and shiny and masculine, and yeah. But I'm not judging. I mean, watches are fine. It was beautiful, but timepieces. But and I was, as a passive consumer, a few years ago, had a phase where I was hooked on those things, just because one collector who had like had a time where he was like on those watch things and came up with like all kinds of watches all the time and showed me then his news watches. For me, the painting, I identify myself with my work. And yeah, my aim is to paint like really like, I don't know, I want to call it like really like great styles, awesome painting, must be like a burnout. You want to, what kind of words do you want to use? So that's my aim, you know, and that's what I'm chasing. And when I surprise myself, amaze myself, and this is of course just possible for a small glimpse and a small moment, because you learn how to accept your new quality, and then it's very difficult to top yourself and to plus it's all based on work, on hard, a long work. So the ability to, you have to be like really play it smart or come up with new efficient thinking around the brown box things to impress oneself and others, especially when you're on that level where you paint like complex things. um yeah, so you go for quality, I mean, but I also like quality when it's painted simple. It can have the same quality for me in the same thing. The problem probably it gets when everything then is painted super simple. Then it can be like, okay, yeah. Then you also have a problem with quantity, because then there's too much of it, you know. And then how to create value, you know. So um, mm, that's why I like painting also on walls. And in the future, I will also, I think I said, I will get myself like new rolls of canvases, large formats, and then I will try all kinds of things, and also probably like stuff or styles or paintings which are very simply painted. And then I swear myself I'm locking them away when they're maybe one layer painted or with one color, and sign them and take photos from it, and then I lock them away, and I swear to them I won't touch those paintings or look at those paintings for like 20 years or something, just to not then in the end after a few years or months or weeks say, okay, how, let's paint the backside. I could add one color there, it could look good, interesting, and then pop, 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 the layers are growing, you know. So yeah, yeah, I'm watching forms and colors and stuff like that. For example, I was yesterday in a local Wirtshaus, say that like a traditional German European, Middle European, yeah, inn, if you want. In America, in England, you would call it an inn or a pub, but with food, with kitchen, everything. And then I watched the bar, and I was like blah 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 blah, and then I was like talking a little also to myself while the AI was listening all the time and thought I was talking with her. And then I was like analyzing for myself. I saw patterns, and I was and then I reckoned the connections to my own life and to my own work life. Or it's there's no private life; it's just work. I mean, it's not work, but it's work. Um, and then I reckoned pattern, and then I saw the connections with colors, with forms, with meanings, also with what I'm painting here. That was very interesting. And yes, of course, if you don't have a woman in your life, I mean, for me, it just makes sense to have women for having lots of children and have a great, create a clan or a family. Of course, white and German. Um, so yeah, um, then you have to on the next day relieve yourself, at least, you know, because also the word Winkler can mean like wankler, you know, and then you have like the round forms and the movement, also with the spray can and with the brush and with the drinking. It's all sublimination, and it's all lots of patterns are bound in colors and forms. You know, I can deduct you why beer is called beer and which social pattern matrix it fulfilled in terms of socializing and connecting or making, pacifying the people and making community among people possible. Without that, people were going crazy and wanting to kill each other. except beside the fact that Europeans have a different prefrontal cortex and impulse control, it's a high impulse control, but still there's like clarity, and clarity can easily like get into conflict when people are very present, and little things can steal them, la-di-da. So I can deduct that, and that's part of people not explaining me certain patterns, and I didn't explain it yourself, and you learn about colors and forms and meanings, and yeah. Why am I so attracted to circle forms or round shapes? Yeah, round shapes probably are. Nobody wanted to paint them in the when I entered the graffiti scene. Though the spray can itself has a round form, everything is like round with those caps. This is a caps look round. Then the hand, I have the C in my name, Claus. It has like a C, it's like round. It has its love, its positive emotions, but also no direction, which in my name suggests Claus Winkler, SEAK Claus Winkler. There is no direction, and then I'm giving them direction. My parents had each 2 circle forms in their name, while I just had the C. So in a way, I connected them to each other. The C is also a round form, but it's just the half round, almost, no, a little bit more than the half of the round form, something like that. I mean, there's like graphic design people or advertising people who say that each letter is a round form. They have like a certain system where the round form then is also connected, or in letters where there is no round form. But it's, I don't know, I have to read up on that a little bit more. Maybe the word, in Germany the word circle is Kreis, and then the word Kreis means like, it's the same word, as it means the same meaning. And the word Kreis is the I, the me, you know, and I'm speaking like German English, for me it's pretty much the same. And in the word Winkler, as well as in the word seek, you have like the E loud in terms of disgust, and E is always like learning a new cultural technique, or a new new cultural technique, a new taste, something where you form yourself, your I with. But like I is connotated as like me, it's oneself, but in truth, I is like from the sound and from the effect and from the thinking is connection with everything, which is widened basically or literally the people and the horizon, which then can be difficult when you're connected with other people, because they can feel that energy and they can't handle that connection, and then every micro reaction and what colors they're wearing and what you think for a millisecond can then go in a positive or in a negative or an aggressive or non-aggressive direction. That's why people have in social gatherings holding like a drink, just so that it doesn't get strange or something, unless you're on a party where people are hypersexualized, you know, and no rules are there or anything, you know. So why am I attracted to those circle forms? Maybe because the word Klaus suggests pain, you know, ow. In English you would say claws, which is more like oh so bad or so beautiful, which is also pain in a way, or destabilization. And the circle form is more love, more positive emotions. At least it's the most positive, basic, essential form. So that's maybe a reason why I'm attracted to those circle forms. Plus, I can't tell you everything, because it's, I mean, yeah, you learn all this stuff here from me, and then you study art and become like a professor at the academy, but forget about where you got it from. Yeah, right. Which suggests the word Claus Winkler also, like I take it from him and then F you. Or reimburse that and give something back. Depends, you know. Could be both. I mean, circle form is also like grabbing something, you know, which is natural, organic. I mean, when I'm gonna paint something, I must also grab something. So, and that's usually round. I mean, I'm also catching everything with my eyes, my pupils, no, not pupils, students. I mean, like, here. So it's reflected also in my name. So it's like, I mean, this is something I reckoned also, that people in a lot of cases are steered and reenacting literally the meanings in their name and the hidden meanings also. And for me, every name also has like two letters. Like every two-letter combination in a name or a word is for me a micro word itself, which steers the whole thing. And it's like funny when you see like videos or people like asking a question, why is it like this and like that? And I was like, and then you write them and maybe in a YouTube comment or something, or tell them that, and they don't want to listen to it. They don't want to hear it. And it's like, hello, ding dong, look at the letters and the letters in the letters, those little two things. That tells you anything you want to know. I mean, those who know, and the others play dumb. So, or they can't accept then that deeper level because that's not how they think, because then they're overwhelmed. I also love painting fast and quick. For me, it's always, I mean, I'm painting here on paintings where I'm painting for, I can show you a little bit here. I'm painting here since a few years on my paintings, or a few decades. For example, this painting here I started in 2010. Now we have 16 years later. It's from two sides. That painting there, that a high format painting, I built that canvas, I think, in 2000, something like that, or 99 or something like that. And since then I'm painting it. So of course, yeah. But for me, it's also a refreshment if I then get out of my usual like routine, and then, yeah, or it's, for example, in Switzerland, and paint there like a large wall for a few weeks. And yeah, and in large, especially those forms, instead of painting them in small, I can paint them in large. It's like, what the fuck did I did the last 20 years here in this house, painting all these paintings? Must be stupid. Didn't have lived nothing. It's sad. I don't know. Um, my observations on the world. uh, I don't know. That would get me off YouTube probably, and I don't know. And that would get me, all attorneys of the world or from Germany would get me letters. Um, uh, at the moment, if you want to know my view on the world, I recommend you watch the streams from the concept artists, as well as performance artists, as well as activists, if you will. John Minadeo. John is like Jon, and then Minadeo, Minardeo, the second, aka HT, aka Handsome Truth. He has his website, goimtv.com, and there he has like streams, and there you come close to how I see the world, and that's the truth. I mean, it's like, yeah. And that was, yeah, and I knew this also when I was a child. So why should I paint walls outside in the world? I mean, this is like a realization I have since 3-4 years. Like, why? Because my kin, my DNA gets wiped off Europe. For whom should I invest time and energy into painting walls? This is the good thing with those paintings here. I can take them where my DNA, or people who have my DNA, my genes in me, then and look like me, and then can look at those paintings there, wherever that is. This is a new realization. This is like plus those, in Germany we say like gehobenes Bildungsbürgertum, like say high educated, intelligent citizen, with high education, with certain lifestyle, perspective on life. In let's say in 1900 in Germany, those would have like multiple children, of course, like 4 or 5 daughters, sons. The daughters can play piano or play at least one music instrument. Plus, they can paint. They read books. They're well educated. They're probably, I guess, they could at least speak 2 languages. Yeah, that's like the gehobene obere Mittelschicht or Bildungsbürgertum. Those are like those who are like interested in art and everything. They wiped this off the map at least in 1945, and then it was going down the drain. Also in terms of birth rates. So those are the natural recipients and appreciator of art, of paintings, and who they will never get born. They get wiped. They would, this. I mean, Caligari, Hutten, Pfizer, Kaufmann plan. Stephen Steinlein plan. Just a few people know that plan. This is how they temperate them, or how they nudge or nuance the Moloch mill in USA, US rail, as well as Europe. Europe. Yeah. My father said, I should be happy dass du Deutschland noch erleben konntest, oder erleben konntest, dass du es noch kennengelernt hast. My father said to me, I should be happy and thankful that I had the chance to still see and learn Germany, like how it was. I mean, I was yesterday shopping here for essential stuff, for example, this lightning thing and stuff with the cell phone. Yeah. I have early childhood memories here from this area and where I was shopping and stuff. Yeah, there were also a few Europeans. Yep. Maybe my work looks so military and masculine and everything, because it's like, since childhood I knew I'm in a war against white people. I mean, on a conscious or on an unconscious level. My name Claus also means like, take it, steal it. But that goes in both directions. It's like a lawlessness in a way. It's like, how smart are children that they all knew that? But I want to keep this video about art predominantly. And if you are a collector, you want to buy my work, or hire me, or anything, or you want to call that, when I'm painting a wall for you or somewhere, la di da di da. I can also talk with you like an NPC. if you're a boomer, you don't know what an NPC is. Okay, I learned that word also like 4 years ago, though I knew it from earliest youth, because we had like in a computer, an Amiga 500, we had a computer. NPC is like the non-playable character. That's like the character which is played from the computer, who can just say a few things. That's it, brain dead. So, and in Germany, they say it's like around 25% of the people are awake, and the rest is brain dead. Yeah, it's like that. And I had yesterday also. It's crazy how brain dead they are. It's like. Anyway, I'm the crazy person talking here about art, while I should talk about other things. That makes me look fat. So, like, I'm the crazy person to talk about art here. Yeah, but I can't not even close tell you what I think. Yeah. Oh yes. Maybe I should paint a video on piece of art theming. Hey, we can talk about full-on NPC, and I can lie to you, la di da di da, and play like the dumb blah blah blah, talking around the bush, doing that boomer brain dead talk, or we talk like being awake and provide la di da di da, and talk like real, you know how it is. I'm deducting words also all the time. No, that's also something I do. I'm digging deeper and deconstructing words and see patterns. I mean, in a way, you must see it positively. Do you really want to have an artist who is a genius or paints like really great paintings, and he's like a full-on leftist, anti-white, brain dead, not talking about this, being politically correct, being white, artist? Can you respect someone like that? I mean, hello. So. What's beyond my observation for the world? We already mentioned how slow my process is, how I paint my paintings. Why am I different than other artists? I've, for example, since 2.5 years, talk with people and do so-called wake-up talks, which are art performances too, for the political police who is listening to this, and the anti-white NGOs, la-di-da-di-da. And I wake up normal people on the street when I'm shopping for food, when I'm buying groceries, when I'm doing a hike, when I'm doing Nordic walking, when I'm playing sport, when I'm just flaneuring through the city, or not to the city, not to the city, but flaneuring through the natural area. When I'm talking with neighbors, with people on the street, with anybody, with children, with youth, with anybody. When I'm traveling, anything, I make wake-up talks. And I mentioned Zelna, I mentioned HT's websites, a certain movie which is very long, which goes for 12 hours, but there's also now a 2005 version, which is 1.5 hour. Then I talk with a lot of people in all kinds of social standings, depending who they are. So that's what I'm doing, you know. Of course I don't get money for it. And I'm safe, of course, because I also have all kinds of practical play toys with me. And I'm wearing play toys, I call them play toys, Spielsachen, you know, it's a euphemism in Germany. All legal, all paragraph 42a conform everywhere I am, also when I'm sleeping, everywhere, also like a shower piece when I'm showering, everywhere. So that's my observations from the world. I'm trying to disconnect myself in any way possible as a person from the demography. Yeah. I'm trying to just interact with Germans as well as Europeans, aka fellow whites. No, not my fellow whites, I'm not talking about those, but sometimes I run into people like those too, which is interesting. Um, uh, one said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, if you, of course, if you go he told me like literally, like if you go as a communicator or protagonist, or like on social media, will become too large or large and talk about the truth, then they, you know. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay, what am I doing? You know, he was like asking me, and I was showing him, just showed him the house. And we just started the conversation on the street, and then I came up, yeah, you fought in the army that I have, la di da, and it was like you doing the usual deflection talk, and but also like, oh, they also have infights there themselves and stuff like that. Yeah. So uh, at the moment, they don't have to send a Mossad team. They see, oh, he's just eating himself to death, so it's all good. No, I still have to work out. Okay, my observations for the world, why I'm still different than other artists. And the interesting thing is, subconsciously, I already knew everything. You know, I'm J-Pill and everything, thanks to Handsome Truth. I knew all this already when I was a child, when I watched the Bolsheviks and everything. And when I was talking with adults or small talk, and I was making a comment, oh, this sounds like Bolshevik, blah, blah. The boomers were smiling, or the silent generation, because they were like, oh, he knows everything, oh, okay. But I didn't know. I mean, I, for example, didn't know that the Bolsheviks were, to accept a few Bolsheviks, were all from, you know, the people you can't mention, and stuff like that. And that's the interesting part. And a lot of things I'm doing on an unconscious level. So I'm knowing it without knowing it consciously, but for the outside world, it looks like I'm knowing this. This is like the bizarre thing, and it's yeah, but it's probably something everybody is reckoning, especially consciously when you wake up. And then, why am I different than most artists? Yeah, world famous in graffitis, already in the year 2000. Painted all around the world, wanting to have lots of white children. There's so many levels why I'm different. I can speak perfect English. I should make a list why I'm different. I was in 26 years already when I was visiting the Academy of Arts as a visitor on their own walk. The students, I saw the students, they were copying me. Blatant. Slack. Yeah. Known for my own style all around the world. My observations for the world. I mean, I can watch all kinds of patterns and deduct things, but then if I would do that now, then other people could use that, or AIs could use that, and where's my benefit? So I'm supporting Martin Zellner. Anybody? My mantra since 4 years is I'm supporting anybody in the world which is pro-white or right-wing. Right, left, and right is already the separation from the people we can't name, you know, how to get rid of people like me, like Europeans, aka white. So it doesn't matter how much pro-white you are, I don't care. Anybody. I would would love to love knowing how I can paint my paintings or transform my paintings in a way that whites have higher birth rates. I'm really happy when I have new rolls of canvases here and can paint large canvases and large paintings and larger formats. I'm so anxious painting all these like small variants for my style, all these letters then enlarged. This is all miniatures for large paintings in all kinds of variants. That's for me it's like buying things you love, or for people who like alcohol, getting drunk, or people who taking drugs, or I don't know what you want to call it. It's like land of milk and honey. Yeah. So I hope this video was some kind of interest. See you in the next video. Thanks for your attention. Thank you for your support. Thank you anyways.